I'm going to lay some ground rules for us before the sheriff comes to speak. I know we're a little bit early, but we've got a lot of things going on, a lot of meetings, a lot of planning, and so I want to be respectful of everybody's time, including the sheriff's and yours. So here's how today's event is going to go. The Chaffee County Sheriff, John Speasy, that's how we pronounce his name. You spell that S as in Sam, P as in Paul, E as in Edward, Z as in zebra, E. And we're here to update the missing person case involving Suzanne Morphew. So the sheriff is going to provide an update today. Obviously there was a lot of searching that went on today near Monarch Pass, and so he's going to update as best he can what took place today, sort of recap what's gone on since Suzanne was reported missing, as well as take some questions from our audience today. Keep in mind we have far many questions than we do answers at this point, but the sheriff is going to do his best to answer as many questions as he can. He felt that it was very important for him to speak with our reporters and of course his community today. After this is concluded, the sheriff, he's been doing a phenomenal job of posting updates to the sheriff's office Facebook page. He'll continue to do that. I'm not certain that we'll continue to have updates in this manner. If something is pressing in the days coming forward, we'll announce that. But for now, moving forward, we'll continue to post those updates for Facebook. So at this point I would like to introduce the sheriff, and he'll come and sort of recap what's been going on the last few days and take those questions. I don't know if we need to adjust the microphone or not.
Are we good? Hi everybody, I wanted to thank everybody for coming today. As you know, Suzanne Morphew became a missing person on Sunday the 10th. Her investigation still remains the top priority of the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, and it is a missing persons investigation. Being that it's a top priority with the Sheriff's Office, we've solicited the help of many local and law enforcement agencies, but we've also solicited and received the help of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they are here now and they're actively working with us on this investigation. We've spent countless hours searching for Suzanne, and I want to thank everybody that's been involved in the investigation, but I also want to thank the community and even our social media community. We have pictures that have been published, and the top priority in this is to find Suzanne. And so I want to thank everybody for the cooperation we've been getting, and we ask that you continue that support. We've started a tip line with the assistance of CBI, and I want to give you that tip line number right now, because that's kind of our lifeline for this thing. And if anybody has any information, whether you think it's little or big, we encourage everybody to call that number and give us that information. And I'm going to give you that number right now. It is, tip line number is 719-312-7530. I want to give you a little brief recap of what we've done since we received the call of Suzanne's disappearance on Sunday. We've, in the area and in the general area, we've run foot searches using air support, canine support, swift water support, and we've also utilized countless hours of drone searches. We've used well over 200 personnel, and over 2,000 man hours have gone into this search, but unfortunately we haven't found Suzanne yet, and as I stated before, that is our top priority. Yesterday afternoon, which is Thursday, in the area of County Road 225 and Highway 50, we did find items that we believe were personal items of Suzanne Morphew, and that launched a bigger search we had today, which included the full closure of US Highway 50 on Monarch Pass. In that search, we used today well over 90 searchers that are well-trained individuals from both our local agencies as well as the FBI and CBI. We searched over 2.5 miles using grid patterns. Unfortunately, we found no other items in that area at this time. We're in the process right now of reevaluating where we are with the information we received. And I want to let everybody know that we are receiving information, and so we're constantly reevaluating that information, and based on that, it'll determine what our actions are tomorrow searching. However, I want to remind everybody that while we're doing this, the investigation continues. Okay, so as I said before, this is a top priority of ours, and we're working very hard on this. Once again, it's just so important to thank everybody for the outpouring assistance we've gotten. We've gotten a lot of requests from the community for volunteer searchers, and we really appreciate the assistance. However, in this type of an investigation and search, we're using trained personnel, and so we have to tell these people we're not accepting this help, but we do appreciate the offer. So I want everybody to know that. Once again, I want to remind everybody that the tip line is 719-312-7530, and we've published many pictures of Suzanne, so we encourage everybody to take a look at that, and if they have information, call us.
Right now, I guess we'll open it up for questions. If we could raise our hands, we're not all shouting, that would be great. We'll start
Okay, Sheriff
right there.
Scott, Channel 13, Colorado Springs. Can you say what the items were that you found?
Well, the question was if I can repeat what the items were found. Just so everybody knows, I can't offer any information on any clues or anything we found during this investigation. It is an open investigation, and so we can't disclose that information at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys believe she's still alive?
The question is do we believe she's still alive? We're certainly hopeful she is. Obviously, as time goes by, it gives us concern, but we're searching as though she's alive, and we do believe she could still be alive. Yes, sir.
You gave the tip line. If the community members are trying to search for her, what can they look for? You know, how can they reach out?
The question is how can the community help us in the search? As I stated before, the biggest thing that we are looking for is any information that anybody has. If they're in the area on Sunday the 10th, call the tip line. If they see somebody that they think resembles Suzanne, call the tip line. Anything they think is important. You know, it's like we talk about in national security. If you see something you think is suspicious, call it, because you never know. And this is the same case. If you think it's important, call us. We're going to look into it. We have a lot of people working on this, and we're working on everything we can. And, excuse me, we just appreciate any help we can get.
Now, was she an avid biker? Was this a normal route that she took that you guys are searching on? That she took every day, once a week, once a month?
Question is, she's an avid biker, and if we're searching normal routes. It's my understanding she did bike quite a bit, and we've searched that whole area. It doesn't mean that we're not going to keep searching, but as we expand our search, it's based on what we find and information we receive. So we're not ruling anything out, but we have to evaluate that information on a daily basis.
I know
Sir.
You said about the clues, but we've heard conflicting reports about whether the bicycle was found. Can you tell us if that was found?
Question is clues, and if we recovered the bike. Once again, I can't comment on any items we found or any part of the investigation.
You said earlier this week that it probably wasn't an animal thing that was involved. Are you still saying that?
Okay, if we're still looking at an animal could be involved. On any open investigation, obviously you don't rule out anything. We've not found anything that would indicate that. However, we're always evaluating. We've been in that area so much, we're always looking, obviously, and any clues we have, we're going to follow up on.
How many tips have you received?
You know, I don't have that information. However, as far as specific, I have talked to our investigators. We've gotten a lot of tips, and it seems as though they're picking up as the word gets out. Now, I noticed on our Facebook page alone, the sheriff's office, we'd reached close to 500,000 people. That's important. That's a lot, and we get those reaches by shares on Facebook. So I encourage everybody, if you get the information, push it out to other people, because that's how we get the information out.
Now, is the husband cooperating?
Yes, he's been cooperative at this point. We hope he continues to do so.
What is the investigation going to look like in terms of physically being out on the road? Are you going to close the highway again? How is that going to look?
The question is if we think we'll possibly close the highway again. We don't know yet. We're talking about that right now based on what we found today, what tomorrow looks like. We'll try to get that information out as soon as we can. However, based on certain aspects of our investigation, we have to evaluate everything and decide when the best time is to do that.
With the FBI and the CBI involved with this, is this being treated as a criminal investigation?
It's still a missing persons investigation. However, they bring in a lot of assets that we don't have locally, and they're a great help. So that's the reason for bringing them in. So it continues to be a missing person investigation.
We'll do 2 more questions.
Yes, sir.
For a small town like this, how much does a missing person, impact the community?
You know, it has a big impact in our community. We're small, pretty tight knit, and there's a lot of people that are concerned about this. But you know, it's not just locally. I've seen a lot of concern nationwide. I mean, this hits a lot of different homes, and there's just been an outpouring of concern, and it's pretty impressive.
Can you talk about compare the size and area that you started off searching and what it has expanded to now?
The question is how big our search area has expanded. We started off, obviously you start off semi-small when you get the information, obviously expands as you maybe find things or as you receive information. We've expanded quite a bit. It's just to reiterate, we don't know where we'll be tomorrow. We're going to reevaluate where we are today, and we'll make decisions based on that.
Last question. Is suicide being considered at all?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is suicide being considered at all?
You know, in any investigation, you look at all aspects, and that is part of the investigation, is you look at backgrounds. And so since we haven't found her, you don't rule out anything. However, we don't suspect it.
Let me ask just one more. Where do you guys go from here?
Go ahead and finish that. That's a good one to finish.
Where do we go from here? We go. Honestly, we go. Tips are huge. We've got a big team of investigators from very different aspects of expertise that we're looking at everything we possibly can. We just keep going. Honestly, this is a very big. It's our top priority. We're pouring all our resources into this, as well as many other agencies, and I don't know how else to say it. We just go. But the community can give us a lot of help. I mean, the second set eyes is huge, and we've seen that in so many different situations that we need help. We can always use help. So anything you do for us, we appreciate it. You bet.
Yep. Okay, so that wraps up our update today. As I stated before, the Sheriff's Office is going to continue to do a great job of pushing out those daily updates. If something warrants a larger scale, bringing us together, having a news conference, we'll certainly let you know. But for now, we'll just stay tuned to Facebook and keep those tips coming. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.